Welcome to NDR Ministries New Day Revival Podcast, located here in the studios in Dodge City, Alabama. We're glad that you are tuning into us with your host, Timothy McDonald Turney, aka PT. Multiple different topics, all the way from biblical topics to everyday affairs in our lives, where we have to get you back on track and make God pleased with your life, and you will be pleased living that life. So let's go on inside and get ready for this podcast this week. You're going to love it. Let's go.
Here we go. Well, how's everybody doing? Sorry about the delay because it has been a whirlwind trying to figure out what to get going, what not to get going. We're on a different platform here, and the reason for that is, one, we were using a platform, and I don't belittle too many things all the time, and I try not to belittle a lot of things. But if something's not working, and if I don't have any good stars, I'm not going to give it some good reviews. And I was using StreamYard for a while, never had any problem with it. And StreamYard was doing really well. I did the Pro plan, and I'm dadgum if they didn't raise the prices. The moment they raise prices, you hear me? Things started going bad. Never had a glitch problem. Never had the podcast go in, podcast to go out. Last podcast, it was really a great with Mark Walker and his in the ministry and what he's been doing. I think it was 10 times it dropped out, and we had to reboot again. And it's just very frustrating. So what we've done here is, if you'll see me, I'm kind of moving around in these areas right here, is because we're going live on TikTok for the first time as well, and wanted to get this audience started on this podcast. So for those of you that have not been, a part of what we're doing here, that's on TikTok and following us from different places all around the country and around the globe. Some good friends in Australia, not Australia, they call it Australia, and from Nigeria, Tanzania, South America, the Greater Antilles, Lesser Antilles. So that we get some people that are following in. And so this podcast right here is, and I'm going to be referring to this camera and this camera back here because I'm working off of two different feeds here. Very first time that I've ever that we're going to hear live. But our podcast is called "Where Is My Northern Star?" If you've studied anything about sailors and how they were able to circumnavigate the globe all over the world before there was the invention of the little square things in our hand, the phone or the GPS. They had a northern star. If they were lost out in sea, they could be lost out in sea for years. I'm not kidding. Listen to me. They could be lost out in sea, have no earthly idea where they're at, pitch black dark. But as long as they could find that northern star, they could figure out where they're going to pinpoint accuracy. Now that's always amazing. I've always loved to be on the ship and give that a shot or two. Don't know if I want to be lost on sea. It's a shaky thing. It is a shaky thing to be out in the middle of the ocean, and there's no lights, there's no moon, and so you can see the stars, but there's no light. It is eerie because it's almost like you could take a knife and cut the darkness. It's so thick. So tonight's podcast is I wanted Northern Star. I just wanted to take a little thing to talk about work ethics, and when we talk about work ethics. I want to say work ethics. We're talking about 10 things that require zero talent. These are 10 things that you can listen to and you can follow. They don't require you to have a college education. It doesn't require you don't have to be a brainiac. You don't have to have an IQ above 120. These are time-tested things that cost zero money, and you don't have to have any talent whatsoever to do these things. So we're going to talk about that and let you know we're for those of you that are coming on in TikTok and thinking they've got some guys, a guy in and Mike Long, Benjamin, what is that? Ben Jangles? Is that, are you close to Bojangles? I like it. Mr. Bojangles. We have a gospel group called the New Day Revival. We're here centered in Dodge City, Alabama. And most of I have two of our other vocals and rhythm guitar player that's out of South Tennessee in Fayetteville, Tennessee, Penny and Jason. And we have Greg Quick, who is our still lead guitar player. Our bass player is Keith Hudson. Our drum player is the one and only Jacob Edwards, and I am Timothy McDonald, attorney. So it's glad for you to be a part here that's watching. And like I said, we had issues with StreamYard, and the moment StreamYard goes up in their price, the moment I started glitching. I don't know if it's if it just by chance that's what happened. I have no earthly idea, but all I'm saying is when the price went up, their service went down. And it's just aggravating. You'd think it would be in reverse, especially for those who want to do a long-term thing. So let's get on into it. I don't want to take too much time up here. So we're going to talk about 10 things that require zero talent. Are you ready? I wish I had my fanfare. Boom, boom, boom. All right. For the first thing that requires zero talent is to be on time. There is something that is remarkable that people that will go into their job or go to anything. It doesn't matter whether it's going to a family function, and we get lost in time. I often say that my life is compartmentalized. I put everything in individual boxes, individual places, and I can ID all those. That's how my brain works. As a musician, I see things compartment. I see things in timing. Music and mathematics and rhythm is timing, and I see that. My wife is different. She has one box and everything's in it. Now she'll have everything, but it's all in one box. So if I'm looking for something, I'm thinking, well, why didn't you put it here and then write down where it was at? Well, that takes too long. I just throw it in a box and know it's in the house somewhere. But one of the most important things when it comes to work, when it comes to relationships, is to be on time. If you say, hey, I'm going to be there at 7, unless there's some mitigating circumstances, and you can't get there till 7:10 or 7:15, understand that. But when it comes to your job, I have worked on jobs since I've been working since I was age 12, gathering eggs at a little chicken house right down the road. At 12 years old, driving my grandfather's old truck to go to gather eggs, and I've been working all my life. And I would say that one of the things that my mother and my father put inside of me was that to have a good, and that would be number 2, to have a good work ethics, because they kind of go hand in hand. If you can be on time for work and have a good work ethic, that's incredible. As one who is had to be like the centurion, I've been in authority, and I understand authority, and I'm under authority. And so to have all these, and that's the way I was. I was a facilities manager for a while. I had to do all of the hiring and all of the with the orientations and everything. And one of the things that's very frustrating when it comes to a job is that when you schedule things and you have everything ready to go, and you're dependent upon people, there's your problem. I'm gonna tell you what, if we can get rid of the people, we can do a whole lot better. But we need people. People need people. We need people. We can't get anything done without people. But when you can't be on time, that sets a horrible precedence, because one, it tells the person who is putting everything together, this guy's got some skill, but man, we can't depend on getting this job. Well, why? Because Robert or Jonathan can't show up on time. They're always late. And I figure and what was funny, I had one guy, he was consistent, perfectly consistent, 15 minutes late every single day. How do you do that every single day? Every single day, 15 minutes. And I'm thinking, and I would ask him, I said, okay, why don't you just set your clock back 15 minutes? Or why don't you just kind of just move it back 15 minutes, do the same thing you're doing, but just show up 15 minutes. What is it with you that you think? And the thing is, you get dismissed. And so that requires zero talent. You don't need an education from a college to get that. You just need to do that. And then have good work ethics. That means whatever the standard and practice for that company. I remember one time, I might be getting ahead of myself on one of them, but I remember one of my spiritual mothers, um, Apostle Sandra Jones, she living in, is from Guyana, and they live in Jacksonville, Florida now, with Bishop, one of my spiritual fathers, that I was learned a lot from him. She said, baby, it doesn't matter whether you are serving a cup of coffee, make it the best cup of coffee served. And when she said that, it clicked with me, because one of the sayings that I used to have was, whatever you do, do everything with the spirit of excellence. With the spirit of excellence, everything that you go to do. How do I describe that in such a way that someone can pick up that and go, hey, I know what you're talking about. The spirit of excellence. That means, for the Bible says, whatever you do, do everything unto the glory of God. So let's take that as our example. So if I'm going to do anything, I'm going to recognize that this is something I'm going to be doing for the Lord. I'm going to be doing for God. I'm going to be doing for my Savior. Boom. And I'm going to do it right. You think of the most important person. And let's just take, for example, the president shows up. No matter with the president, whatever country, that's just the status of the office is to be respected. And you take that president's going to show up at your house, and you're not going to do anything special for him. And they say, well, we want you to prepare a brunch, have some quiche and coffee, and all of those kind of things could be, what am I looking for? They'd be very easy to take care of, but you're just not going to just nonchalantly go down to a Walmart, buy you a frozen quiche and turn on the Keurig. You're going to prepare yourself because of the person that's coming. And you do things with the spirit of excellence. You do it as though you're doing it unto God. And one of the things that I like about that saying is that it makes sure that when I lay my head down at night, I want to make sure I did a good job that day. I might have made mistakes during that day, but I want to make sure that I did the best that I possibly could do. So number one, of the 10 things that require no talent, zero education, be on time in everything, and have a good work ethic. And then number 3 is effort. To put some kind of effort into it. We have part of a generation today that keeps that they don't the effort. Well, I only want to work 20 hours a week. I want to get paid 40 hours a week, and I want all full benefits. I wished I had could have bring it up, but there's this one. I was watching this little spoof from Babylon Bee, and they had a young lady comes in and sitting down. A gentleman was there, looked like he was probably my age, around 60, 65 years old, and he's doing the orientation or onboarding, and he's interviewing this young lady for a job. And he said, "Okay, well, we'll see you in the morning around 8 a.m." She went, "Oh, that doesn't work for me. I kind of like, I kind of like get up around 10 or 10:30. Then 11ish, 11:30 will sound good for me." And he said, "Well, we're here." And she said, "Oh, I don't agree with this." She said, "Can I talk to somebody at HR?" He said, "You're not even working with us." And it's the effort. And I see it. I see it when with this generation. I'm really hoping that it pushes through and something can click, because when you don't put forth a good effort in anything, you're not going to inspire anybody for anyone. You're not going to feel inspired for yourself. So to have a good work ethic, or regardless of what you're doing, put an effort in it. Relationships, put an effort in it. Serving the Lord, put an effort in it. You're going to learn a song and sing a song, put an effort in it. Put the effort forward to practice and be ready for it. I remember we was at a recording studio one time, and a group came in. At that time, it was like, I think it was like $75 an hour studio time, which is pretty good studio time. And so this group got there, and they went through their first song. Okay, it took a couple hours. That's about normal. But one, I think they spent probably 3-4 hours practicing on the course of the song that they were going to sing. And I asked them, I said, did y'all practice? Well, we didn't really have enough time. I said, well, why are you picking this song? And then when they got their bill, they're going, holy cow, man, how come I'm going to give me my arm and my leg and half my house? Well, you spent almost 5 hours total from the beginning to end, and then in between the practice on one song. And then multiply 5 times 75. And it's next time, come prepared. That means you've got to put the effort into it. You with me? Say I'm with me. I'm with me. All right. Number 4 is body language. Now, if anybody's ever heard me, you've heard me preach, you heard me teach, I think I've had a podcast on this last year at one time. Body language. Do you know that in communication, that body language is 57% of communication before there's ever any words ever said? 35% is the tone in which you apply to whatever you're saying, and only 8% is the words that you actually use. So you think about that. Think about it. So body language is the most body language. I'm going to get it again. 57% of body language is 57% of communication. So how many times have you come up to someone, or they've come up to you, and you looked at them, you said, everything okay? Why did they say that? Why did they say everything okay? Something gave them away. You didn't come up and say, hey, man, I got some problems. No, but your body did. Your eyes, we say the eyes are the windows to the soul. And the expression on your face, you could say a lot by just the way you walk. You could see somebody walking and you could tell that person is walking dejected, is walking with depression, or just doesn't feel like being there, doesn't feel like walking. They just have they have a slump, they have a way about them. That's because body language communicates. I can tell when someone is not feeling well simply because of their body language. It will speak. And most of the time, I would dare say way into the 90th percentile range, that body language is the first thing ever communicated, ever, whenever you go to do anything. If you pay attention to it. That's why, a good statue, a good proper statue, sitting up in your seat, and when you go in, make sure there's kind of a smile on your face. There was an old deodorant program that said, never let them see you sweat. I forget who put that out, but it's true. Never let them see you sweat. Never let them know what's going on. Body language communicates. Takes zero talent, zero money, but it's just effort. Number 5, energy. Energy. Oh, that don't require any talent. Just put forth some energy. If you got a problem, get some energy. I'll tell you, one of the things that my wife and I do is, I know it's a free commercial for you, Brick House, but it's called Field of Greens. I heard about it for last year or so, and so the last year, I think around I think the last part of October, we started taking Field of Greens, and I began to notice a considerable difference after about the 3rd week. It really started getting in because it's giving you all the nutrition. Now, it's not an energy drink by no means, but what it does, it boosts your immune system. It gives you all the necessary things that you need, both for your vegetables and for your fruit, for the body to function. Whatever the body needs, Field of Greens gives it. Plus, it's an immune booster. And by a natural nutrition, when the body is getting its optimal, the body can do great things. God created this body to live forever. God created this body and designed it to heal itself. That's why the immune system is so important. Without the immune system, you'll pass away, you'll die. People who get AIDS, most of them died not from the AIDS, because what the AIDS did, it removed their immune system, and they would die with a common cold. They're susceptible because God knew what he was doing when he created us, and he put that immune system to do all the fighting. So we started taking this Field of Greens, and for me, I notice a considerable difference in the way my stamina throughout the end of the day and the energy. My wife went to the doctor, and her blood work was incredible. We didn't change anything from the way we were dieting or eating. We changed the way we started eating. I've lost over 50 something pounds. She did the same thing. We started about two and a half years ago. We're kind of like this right here, but we have not gained that up there. But having that field of greens has really given us this energy, and that energy has made us feel better towards the end of the day. That energy has helped us to move on in with what we're doing, simply because if you got energy, if you got the energy behind whatever you're doing, you can accomplish anything. So, and it takes zero talent, zero money, zero education to do it. Number 6. Oh, now here's one. It's, y'all ready? Say I'm ready. The cloud is coming over, and the lightning's going to strike the ground, and upon this rock, it's going to say attitude. I said it. I said attitude. One of the things that requires zero talent, zero money, zero education is attitude. I try not to perpetuate somebody's negative attitude or their angry attitude by responding the same way that they are responding to me. Case in point, you get up to a fast food window, lady's there, and she's a little sharp or she's a little brash. She don't have a good demeanor to her, and so okay, you want to slap it back, sister? I'll be your hollaback girl. Come on, I'll be your hollaback girl. No. Because I don't know if the car, 2 or 3 cars ahead of me, if they said something to her that she didn't deserve to be said that way, they said something to her or they did something to her, and it might have, who knows? I don't know what they just went through ahead of me. And so I don't know if she's responding from that or he's responding from that. But what I can do is I can have the best attitude that I can have. The Bible talks about us, having a good attitude. Solomon said a good name is preferred above all riches. And I'm going to tell you what, someone who has a sassy, I started to use another word. I think my mother would have come across the phone. But to have a horrible attitude, people that are like that, if you know that, and you know somebody, right now a name's coming across your brain right now with who I'm talking about, that have a horrible attitude. Nobody wants to be around them. No one wants to be around them. So attitude costs no talent to have a good attitude. Pretty simple. You reap what you sow. If you sow it, you're going to get it. Some say, hey, I would really love to feel loved. Well, then start loving. And I guarantee you that whatever you sow, you will reap. Costs zero talent, zero money to do it. All right? Number session. That's because number 7 is called passion. So I got it all together. So I compiled it. I compartmentalized it, and I made it efficient. Called it. So number 7 is passion. Whenever you get ready to do something, if you find someone said, hey, you want to do this? Just the other day, somebody said, man, I like the way you talk and how you're able to do this and this and this and this. You'd make a great salesman. And I went, yeah, I would. I've been told that. I have the gift of gab. I love communicating. I love going right in the middle of a circle of strangers. And before I'm there more than 5 or 10 minutes, I'm already working my way around. My little sister, she's incredible at doing that. But I don't have a passion for it. And I told him, I said, why? I know I probably could make some good money from it, but why would I want to do that if I don't have a passion for it? Because the last thing I want to do is spend the last part of my life doing something that I don't enjoy. I quit. I retired. Well, I guess I was not retired age, but it was just that in 2019, I needed a break. I had straight years of running with facilities management, with operations, with safety and compliance. I was just tired. I didn't realize how much of of stress I was under until I had quit. And 2 weeks later, I was with my son. We went out to eat. And he said, Dad, you're pretty nice to be around now. And I chucked it up as a joke. And then I sat back and pondered. I went, wow, how bad was I? That's simply because I had lost the passion to do it, and it became a struggle. And you need to have that passion. Passion is what drives, what motivates. Passion is the thing that I have. People find someone, they chase after someone and say, I will spend the rest of my life with you because my heart and my soul have a passion for you and for what we're going to do. You need to have that passion and that drive. So I'm not saying to go quit your job tomorrow unless you have something to fall back on. But if you can, go find something that you love doing. You might make a little bit less money out of it. Learn to live within your means and then enjoy the rest, the latter part of your life and doing things that you really love doing. I'm tired during the end of the day. On some days I come in and some of the things that I'm having to do. But what I'm doing with a little bit of construction and renovation, and then doing with our gospel group that we're in recording and songwriting. We have a new program that's going to be coming up here in the month of February. Sometime it's called Dodge City Jams. I'll let you know how that's going to turn out. You're going to love what's coming because our first Dodge City Jam is going to be blues and rock gospel. That's right. Going to get the guitar out. I'm going to sling my face off and shred it off. Okay. So that's because I have a passion for it. So I have a passion. Number 8, be coachable. Okay. All right. Those of you listening, hang on. Be coachable. What does that mean? To be coachable. If I'm playing for a coach, he's going to try to get me to be, let's take, for those may not like him, sorry, but you have to admit he's one of the greatest coaches of all time, Nick Saban. One of the things, he was so hard, and people, that is not the players feared him because they didn't just fear him because he just was this monster, but he made sure he wanted to get the best out of you, and that was going to push you. But I told, what was it? It was earlier this week. I told a young man, I said, always be ready to learn. Never get to a place in your life where you're not learning. Even at my age, and I ain't too old. Even my age, I'm always learning. I get here on this computer, and there's things that I want to find out in the music industry, things I want to find out through streaming, just like what we were having a problem getting started because I'm starting a new platform, and I had to learn how to navigate different areas. But I'm always learning because that keeps the mind fresh. But you've got to be able to be coachable. You got to be able to not get so, don't get offended because the person who is you're working with, who might know a little bit more and might see you struggle in an area, just take what they've got and be coachable. You've got to be coachable. If you're not coachable, if you're not teachable, then you're going to wind up being bitter towards the end. And don't be that way. Be coachable. Number 9, now we're getting close to being done here. The 10 things that require zero talent, zero money, zero education. Number 9, doing extra. Doing a little extra. For whatever you're doing, do a little extra. One of the things that Lori and I made, that's my wife, Lori and I made sure that we do, and when traveling in ministry in different places we had to go to live, that whenever we left a place, we left that place better than we found it. I would make sure if the walls were in rough shape, because I've got that skill, I made sure to get with the person who owns or lease it, said, hey, if you got the paint, let me paint this. And I would really paint it. And when we would tell them, sometimes I'd tell them what we're going to do, and they were excited the fact that it was getting done. It was going to bless them. It's going to help them. And so all I could say is that whenever you go to do something, do a little extra. And why would you do that? One, it's not that you're wanting to make yourself look better, but it's that it does make yourself look good. And then somewhere down the road that you may cross paths with someone, they're going to remember what kind of person. Whenever I get a call said I need some references, I wouldn't even have to worry about my reference. I'd give them any reference I want to. They'd call 2 or 3 people. Oh yeah, these people were great. They were on time with their payment, their lease or their rent, and they were so clean. I didn't have to do anything. And matter of fact, they even repainted my walls and hung up some very nice lighting and left it. And it made that place a lot better. We did extra. And what's the other reason? Here's the big one. That whatever you sow, you will reap. There is a law that is just as strong as the law of gravity, and it's the law of sowing and reaping. That whatever you sow, you reap. If you want love in your life, once again, you got to sow it. If you want peace in your life, you got to sow it. If you want passion in your life, you got to sow it. But if you sow, you always get back more than what you gave. So that's why doing extra for people is absolutely important. It's vitally important that you make sure that you do that. And the last of the 10 things that require zero talent, you ready? Is being prepared. Take it, breathe that in, sister. Suck that in. Take you a little bite of that apple right there. Being prepared. It doesn't cost anything. It takes zero talent, zero money, zero education to just be prepared. Whatever you're doing. Now, you can't prepare yourself for a SpaceX launch to the moon unless you're an astrophysicist. Did I say that right? Hey, careful. Or you're working for NASA, you're working for Elon Musk, his company with SpaceX, or whatever you're doing with the space program. If you're not in that field and you don't have that understanding, it's hard for you to prepare for that. But whatever your life force is, whatever your part in your life is, you got to make sure that you're prepared for it. And how do you do it? Go back upstairs to number 9, doing some extra time. Number 5, put a little energy in it. 3, put some effort in it. And 2, have a good work ethic. You could do that and prepare yourself. You'll be ready and you will blow people away. You will make a significant difference and people will want to be around you. They'll want you to be a part of their team, or they want you to be a part of their life, or they want you to be a part of whatever you're doing, simply because they know that you're going to be, here they are, you're going to be on time. You got a good work ethic. You put forth effort. Your body language always speaks positivity. And you have good energy. You have a great attitude, and you have a passion for what you're doing. And you know what? You're coachable, and you do extra things for people. And when you do extra things for people, and you're prepared, man, you can be successful in whatever you're doing. Your success level, whatever you're doing, you can do well, but your success level, is only at a 2. Raise that lid. Raise that lid level up. If your leadership ability or your ability to do something is at a 3 and you're good at it, if you're looking at the XY scale, let me say, I don't know how you're viewing this, but on this right here, your Y scale, you got a certain level of success, and then your ability, what you're putting in, and you can be successful if you'll just do those things and prepare, because they don't cost you anything. We try to they want to get us to spend so much money. Go to college, get your liberal arts degree. And let me tell you something, as a former hiring manager, I have turned away kids with master's degrees in electrical engineering because I needed a position for a supervisor for the electrical department. He had never ran any wire, never run any conduit, never installed anything electrical at all. He just went to school and learned it on the books. He didn't have any real world experience. I'm just saying, you can do these things if you will trust the process. Last, let's read it again. The 10 things that require zero talent: be on time, work ethics, effort, body language, energy, attitude, passion, be coachable, do extra, and being prepared at what you're going to do. And you will find, my friend, life will become so much easier for you. So this is the first time that I've did the live on TikTok. Was able to start doing that, and so follow us if you want to. If you want to get in touch with us, you can find us. My page is Timothy McDonald Attorney. For Facebook, I've got New Day Revival. Very simple, New Day Revival. For our Facebook, you can go to our YouTube channel at New Day Revival. Pretty simple. And you can also at our website at newdayrevival.com and send us an email. Our email is newdayrevivalministries with the RIES at gmail.com. And let us know what you think about the program here. Thank the guys that are coming on here have joined on to listen. I hope you were able to hang on, but I hope you take these 10 things. I will post these 10 things on the after. They'll be in the feed. You could be able to download these right here. And remember, they're always successful. So until next time, till next Thursday at 6:30, and hopefully we'll have all the bugs and we'll have our new platform. Everything will be going just fine. Next Tuesday, 6:30. And remember, in the month of February, we're starting a brand new podcast series on music. It's called Dodge City Jams. So thank you so
and we
much.
want to thank you once again for watching the podcast, or if you've been listening to our podcast through all podcast channels from Podbean, iHeartRadio, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts. You can find us on newdayrevival.com. Look at our Facebook page and like the page, or go to our YouTube channel at New Day Revival. Like, subscribe, and follow us there to get notifications. Email us at newdayrevivalministries.com. And remember, it is always a new day for a new revival. See you next time.
See you next time.